Check mic, check. Mic check 1 2. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Thought and Talk with Aaron EBM. How y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing well as usual. Man, it's a lot of stuff going on. Y'all know how it is. I mean, we got Gillian, whatever her name is, Gillian Maxwell and R. Kelly both sentenced to sex trafficking. One got 30 years, the other got 20. I'll let y'all ponder on that. Same old, same old. Women still delusional. Some women still delusional. Didn't take Kevin Samuels to be passed away too long before they went right back to the old ways. So just a lot of this. The more things change, the more things stay the same. So, like I said, I appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and get this show started. What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? What's going on? I hope y'all are doing well. Let's get the camera going back again. Let's get the camera going back. Hope all is doing well. One more day closer to Friday and closer to the weekend. Y'all got any plans for the 4th of July weekend? I know a lot of people, some people celebrate it, some people don't. You know, most of us do, though. So I hope y'all are going to have a wonderful and safe 4th of July weekend. Me, I think I'm gonna take it easy. I don't know if we're gonna shoot fireworks or not, man. It's like we're excited about that stuff when we were young, but then the older you got, the more you got away from doing it, and it's like I can care less if we shoot fireworks or not. It is what it is, And if you were anything like me, and if you grew up anything like me, you grew up with people randomly running up to you and trying to shoot you with fireworks instead of actually shooting them. So, at this age, I can care less. Guys, man, it's been pandemonium. It's been pandemonium. You got Ghislaine Maxwell getting sentenced, and we got R. Kelly getting sentenced. Both of them being sentenced. One being sentenced to 30 years, the other one being sentenced to 20. what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? I know a lot of times we have these conversations, and most of the time it goes straight to, well, it's different for blacks in the criminal justice system, and what it goes without saying. I don't like to be a part of the victim Olympics, but it goes without saying. If you don't understand that things are fundamentally different in this world and things are not fair, I mean, it's something wrong with you. If you can't realize as an adult that life is not fair, then you have to do some real thinking and figure out, what's going on. But life is not fair. Doesn't mean it should be like that, but it is what it is. This is the world we have, and it's best to do the best you can. My advice is to, if you don't want to have any of these things, if you don't want to argue about the criminal justice system being unjust or being unbalanced, then I suggest, men, you stay away from the criminal, as far away from the criminal justice system as you can, so you don't have to worry about these things. That's what I tried to do in my life, and it worked out pretty well so far. I had these little onesie twosies. Sometimes it was my fault. Well, most of the time it was my fault, and y'all know how it goes. Driving with expired tags. Before before you get paid to get your new tags or something like that, something stupid like that. Speeding. Some things we just do to ourselves. So, yeah. Besides that, you got the whole R. Kelly thing, and it is what it is. My take on it is, y'all already know this isn't something that we already haven't been saying to you. That my thing is the men and the women in general are judged different. The women are judged a lot less harsh than the men are judged. And y'all have to know this. Women by now, you should see this. This is why I don't listen to a lot of the women that talk about the patriarchy and talk about how hard it is for women, but yet there are things out there and systems in place that take things lightly. I've seen women delete their own children and get less time than, let's say, pedos that got convicted. This criminal system isn't just. Y'all should know that by now. I don't know why we have to go back to square one all the time. But man, it's a crazy world out there. Let's see what I have for some of the news that I have. Let's pull this up real quick. Some of the things that stuck out anyway. See what we got. This was a pretty good one. This was a pretty good one. And see if I can get this to pull up. Yeah, Marvel introduces its first gay Spider-Man. Marvel introduced or introduces its first gay Spider-Man. This is not surprising. With the crazy amount of wokeness that we have in the media and in the movie industry now, with every movie being just filled with propaganda. They're like, pay attention. There's no movie that hardly comes out anymore without some kind of social justice behind it. Some kind of movie that they have a arrogant woman in the lead role, and she has to show everybody that she is powerful as the men, and end up having some kind of insane plot armor, and just doing a whole bunch of things in the hopes of women empowerment. And by now, man, I'm just sick of it. I'm a movie buff, so I don't like them messing with my movies. I wish they just leave my movies alone, my TV shows, but it looks like it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And I think Marvel came out and actually said that they were going to do this. They were going to push as much as this agenda, and these different alternative things as much as they can. And you think they would learn by the flop that Lightyear had, that people don't want to have wokeness, man. People don't want to see wokeness. People don't want to go through that. People want to go to a good movie, and people want to be entertained. People don't want to have to decipher through all of the mess and have to have the real world intermingled with their fantasy world. And this is what is happening, man. Look at this. You got Marvel will debut the first gay Spider-Man upcoming in the upcoming Edge of Spider-Verse number 5. Edge of Spider-Verse number 5, written by Steve Fox, shared image of Marvel's first gay Spider-Man, Web Weaver, and he already spicy. He got his hand on his hip, ready to put the evildoers in their place. Ow, ready to put everybody in their place, spinning the web oh so gently. They say, and shouldn't let me see where it was. Web Weaver onto his Twitter account. Something I realized immediately when conceiving Web Weaver is that he can't and shouldn't represent all gay men. Fox posted. No single character can. His fearlessness, Femi identity is central to who he is, but it is not the story which you can experience for yourself in September. I don't know how many times we got to go through this, man. We get it. There's so many different people out there and there's so many different things, but at this point, it's not natural. You end up having these forced characters and you end up messing up storylines. Look at them. It's just sassy. I mean, I leave the characters alone. What you should do is you should have different people, different lifestyles make their own comics, and then when people gravitate to their comics and they take off, then that's what the market wants. But you ultimately end up pissing the market off when you end up just forcefully putting this stuff, different things into the market. Especially nobody wants to see it. It's like, what else? What other character did they do that with? Batwoman. Batwoman was a character that nobody wanted, but yet the CW said that they were going to force this character, and it sucked and nobody liked it. Nobody wanted to watch it. And then they said, well, we know what to do. We'll go ahead and put a black woman as the lead, and then we'll get more people to watch it. And no, you can't do that either. You can't stick black people in roles. That's the problem about all this forced inclusion. You end up forcing black people into roles just so they can have a black quota, and you end up messing the movie up, and you end up forcing white characters in the predominantly black roles, and they end up messing up the movie as well, instead of just letting stuff happen organically or writing it in such a way that it happens organically. You end up forcing these things and they end up sucking, and then they like everybody scratching their head. And my thing is, why y'all keep making the same mistakes over and over again and not learning from them? That's the definition of insanity. You keep doing this stuff over the same thing over and over again and getting this and hoping for different results, and you don't get it. And I just don't know, man. That's I get it. By now I get it. I know what's going on, but come on. Come on. What else did we find, man? This was also interesting. I didn't even watch this video, so you guys bear with me on this one. And if I can get it to work. Anybody, we'll wait while this thing loads up. Hopefully it does. Internet is acting kind of shoddy. Everybody's internet is acting up lately when on StreamYard. And I don't know what it is. Last week's stream was pretty good. It didn't do too bad, but for some reason this broadcast is moving slow. There it is. We finally got something. See if we can get that to load. See if we get that to load. We'll see, we got two people. We did have two people in here. Welcome to the den. If you haven't been to this channel before, this is Aaron EBM, and we're waiting on this. Here it goes.
We're learning more about the 29-year-old transgender skateboarder who beat a 13-year-old girl to take home the top prize in a New York City contest. Richie Tribe not only served in the U.S. military, in the Navy, but he was also rejected in qualifying for the Olympics. Testing for too much
already. This story is already messed up because you got a 29-year-old that beat a 13-year-old in the skateboarding contest, and you can hear by the story that they're telling already that this is the same thing that we already kind of speculated when a lot of these men do this. They decide to go. They can't cut it in different sports. They can't cut it in different arenas, so they decide to play the opposite sex to get a one up on them. And now they're competing against people that they're 10, 15 years older than, and they're looking at it as a real victory. This is weird.
Testosterone after taking hormones. Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America, joins us now. I can't believe this story. Like, I just want to show you this video first, Jimmy.
Okay.
Everybody, just so you understand, take a call for number one.
I really appreciate everyone trying to. Like at all, and if anything, I'm really worried about how Ricky must be feeling right now. I mean, I absolutely admire her courage to be who she is, no matter what. Skateboarding is a wonderful sport. I mean, we accept and love everyone, no matter how they choose to be identified.
This young woman, this young girl, she's 13 years old, is trying to make the most of a situation that is
absurd.
This is not right.
She's being gracious because she doesn't want to look transphobic or hateful. Someone has obviously forced this take on her because it's not fair to her. A 29-year-old man will beat a 13-year-old and pretty much accept sex messaging. if it comes down to text and emojis, he's a huge underdog in Vegas. But on the merits, there's no way he should be competing against her. And that's the whole scam. The reason this story keeps coming up is it's sold to us as inclusion, but it's actually exclusionary when it comes to the truth and the fact that men have a huge biological advantage over women. A good example I'd give you is we haven't covered one story yet where a woman transitioned to a man and won all the events. Why? Because the men have that advantage. The winner of the New York City Men's Marathon beats the women's winner by about 13 minutes, which is about 3 miles on foot. By car in New York, that's about a half a block, 13 minutes, but you get it.
I'm sure his TikTok account is not nearly as good as hers as well. But here's what he said about this, Jimmy. He says, this is Ricci. He says, you can't ask an elite professional athlete to compromise their health. Besides the fact that I've explained transitioning as a sense of enlightenment has nothing to do with your testosterone level. It's a matter of decision and feelings, and you finally decided.
At what point did we decide to okay, I get it. You guys wanna they have transgenders play each other, cool. But at what point did we decide it was okay for people with such a age gap to compete against each other and you not feel some kind of vitriol? I mean, I don't understand where are we going where we decide okay, I'm me 37, I want to go up play against or compete against people that are 15. I mean, what is it? You know, if I beat that person, I mean, should I really feel good about myself that I beat somebody? I don't know, man.
To be you. He's got more testosterone, he's got more mass, he's got more muscle, he's got more experience. I mean, come on.
That's the racket. So he's hiding behind not the science, but the social pressure of this is hateful if you make me do this to myself. But acknowledging the need for hormone therapy is also kind of a self-own in that he's clearly, pointing out that they're different. There is a difference here, and you can't continue to sell it to us as if they're the same. The easy fix, I say this all the time, would be to give transgender athletes their own division. And everybody keeps saying, well, there's not enough of them. Then I don't know, maybe make it a decathlon. You got a swimmer, you got a biker, you got a weightlifter. Again, I don't think there's any fair way to do it.
This is what I've been kind of obsessed with one part of this story, and it's not just for her, but for others. Why is she doing an Instagram video to stand up for herself? Where are all the women athletes, that have succeeded and achieved success? Where are the men who would stand up and say this is not right? These young girls, we've had them on our show. They're hiring lawyers. They're trying to be as gracious as they possibly can. They want to be dignified. They don't want, but they've worked so hard. And that 13-year-old girl, Shiloh, she's super talented, and no one's standing up for her.
Well, that's the frustration. Is we're just about a week and a half removed from the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and all of these women athletes who were so outspoken then have basically just been socially pressured into compliance. Like, this is an issue where you can feel a little bit of a sea change, but there's still a vast gap between what people believe and what they're willing to say, and that's where we are. So
and she's not even standing up for herself, she's standing up for him,
which is ridiculous.
And also, he's an adult. At some point, like, are you not embarrassed? I don't care if you want to identify as a woman, knock yourself
Fine.
out. Are you not embarrassed as an adult to compete against a 13-year-old girl?
Oh, I would be 1,000%. Listen, I was a skateboarder. I quit. I was a chubby skateboarder in middle school. I quit because I saw what I looked like in a mirror. I thought I was Tony Hawk. I looked like Tony Soprano. And I was like, all right, maybe not. Maybe this ain't my sport.
Jimmy.
You guys.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Miss you already.
A little moment of levity this morning, but also
us.
it's a serious issue. We appreciate you coming on.
You guys.
Oh man. See, I mean that's the thing. It's not the fact that they have that's two separate issues. I mean, you got the trans playing biological female athletes, that's one thing on top of there. And then okay, you take the hormones, okay, to level the play and to try to level the playing field. I don't know scientifically how much that's going to do anything, but then you're starting to play people or play against or compete against people that you are in two different age arenas. When I just don't I don't get it, man. That's even worse. It goes from one thing to another, and it really feels like it's just bruised egos at this point. But yeah, let's get on with the show. Now, if you paid attention to last week's live stream, Thought and Talk episode 5, you would have seen me say something in the aspect of wanting to talk about the risk and people's inability to do so, and that was we were on the main topic of being conforming, being comfortable and conforming. And I touched a bit on the aspect of being either paralyzed by fear or being growing up in such a community that you basically had a scarcity and a victim mindset. The scarcity mindset made you feel like you didn't have the ability, you didn't have the smarts, you didn't have the what is the word for, you didn't have the bravery, you didn't have any of those things that were instilled in you to branch out and do the things you wanted to do. And if you really pay attention, why I have make the jump on the screen right here, you will know that in order to go to the next level, in order to pass a stage in life, in order to graduate a stage in life, it takes you taking a leap or making the jump that starts the leap, that takes off into the category of leaping. And you can't do that, and you can't make that leap, and you can't make that jump without faith, and you can't make that jump and leap without investing in yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about when is the right time to take the leap? What do you need to take the leap? What kind of a person, or what kind of steps you need to take to to get in that get ready to take that leap? Or is it ever a good time to take the leap, or is it just all faith? So really, in this society we're living in now, regardless of what they tell you, regardless of them telling you that it's all controlled by the patriarchy, and men are just have their foots on the back of the necks of women and are oppressing women, it's not the truth. They don't, it's one thing, it's like a multi-layered issue that we have going on as people in America. And then Black people as a subset culture of America have our own different issues in that. As a whole, America really doesn't encourage young men to take risks, to do things that they want to, really want to do. And why? And they don't do it. Number one, because the more people you have, like I said in past live streams, the more people you have taking the risk, the more people you have, being good stewards of their money, more people deciding to not go with the flow and not go with the program, and deciding to actually, go do something different and take my money and not buy Jordans, take my money and not buy not buy iPhone 15s, and actually go and invest in something. The more people you have doing that, the more people you have taking their lives into their own hands, the less people you have doing what? the less people you have in the rat race. And the less people you have in the rat race, the less chance these big companies have of making the millions and some billions of dollars that they usually have by using all of the pawns to make all their money. But like I was saying, this society doesn't really encourage men. They don't uplift men or men and young boys to be the astronauts, to be the police officers, to be the surgeon. They don't push it. It's mostly women. And it's absurd that you actually see a lot of women saying that the patriarchy is standing on them and oppressing them when they know that's not true. If you really take a look, they know that's not true. There are a lot of amenities. There are a lot of things and different special treatments that a lot of women get that they just don't get. And you all know it. You all know the uplift, the women movement, and in the black community, you got the black girl magic. And I said this often, that what happens, when is there going to be positive things for young men, positive things that young men can look at? And I said it just doesn't happen until now. So let me put this up here. I thought this was interesting.
Nice. You did the two things we always talk about. What's that? You worked hard and you
Have fun.
have fun, my man.
It's a real star you got there.
Thanks.
Take care of those hands. They're taking you places.
I got hands. I'm gonna go pro.
You definitely could.
Easy money.
Easy money. Have you ever thought about what else you could be? Go along, son. You could be a brain surgeon. Your hands could operate as skillfully as Dr. Myron Rowe. Or a sports agent, handling big contracts, like Rich Paul. What about an artist? You can be as creative as Brian Blue the Great. The art you make could inspire the world. Son, you can even be an astronaut, flying in space with Leland D. Melvin. Sure, with those hands, you could play for a team, but you could buy a team. Ownership gets to wear the rings first.
I can do all that, Dad?
You can be anything you want with these hands.
Yo, I haven't seen anything like that. Yeah, well, hey, cool. Yeah, hey, man, I haven't seen anything like that either, which is why I couldn't go through tonight's broadcast without showing that. I was like, there's no way that I can go through tonight's broadcast without showing that because that's amazing, and we need more of it. You know, this just we're in a place and we're in a time that you just don't see that kind of thing, and that's more of what we need. We do need more than that. We do need some more things that are positive that do let people know that they can, with only trying, with only taking risk, with only the just the thought, you know, the inception of the thought of you being able to do big things and change the world. And if you're not changing the world around you, more people would do things. But, you know, instead of being stuck in this world that rewards mediocrity, that rewards people being ratchet, rewards people for being nuts and crazy, you know, we need more of that positivity. And we can't, and it won't start without us doing that kind of thing. It's as easy as talking to your son. It's as easy as talking to your nephews. It's easy as spending time and letting them know that the sky's the limit for them, is if only they put in the work, if only they do what they need to do to make it. And to, you know, you almost have to I don't want to say punish, but you almost have to know how to abstain yourself from the mess that's going on in the world and the mess that's going on in the community, and actually laser focus on what you want to do and what you need to do. Because in the end, all it is taking risk and stepping out and having faith. Who knew you can throw that football until you had that faith to pick it up and throw it? Who knew you that you could do math equations like you can do math equations if you didn't sit down and know that you can push from one equation to the other? It's risk. The most of the time, even in my life, I never really made it to the places that I made it to without me saying, look, I'm going to go outside my comfort zone, do something I don't want to do, take that leap and make it to where I make it. Rarely have I set my mind to something that I wanted to do and not make it. And that's what's missing. That's what's missing is missing that our young people need to know that they can do what they want to do instead of looking at these images of negativity, seeing these things that are pumping this negative and just unclean stuff into their minds, into their bodies, and they soak it up and they don't want to do anything but perpetuate what they are seeing. And I said this too. It's like hip hop. I love hip hop. Hip hop is a part of me. It's a part of a part of my life. I grew up with hip hop. But here's the thing about hip hop. Hip hop was organic. When hip hop came out, when hip hop at its inception, it was organic. It was the stories, it was the rhymes of a person's life, of a person's hardship in their pain in some instances. And then that just so happened to be marketable and everybody loved it. And then all of a sudden people get a hold of it, pervert it, and then pump out the negativity, pump out the stereotypes, and then instead of it being a art about us talking about our lifestyles, it becomes a movement of, let's see, a lifestyle movement. I'll say it like that. It becomes a lifestyle movement where everything in this movement is negative, and the negative is rewarded and none of the positive is rewarded. You often hear women like the pineapple show, the viral pineapple show clip with Melly Monaco that happened. You often see our women saying that they want the guy with the has the swag, but and try to hide it, but not saying that that's what they want, but actually want somebody that has swag, and then want the game, and they can want what they want. It's cool. We understand what it is, but then turn around and say they don't want a guy who plays games. But that's what a guy that has a lot of game does. You think the guy's game is just going to shut off when he meets you? All of a sudden, you think that game is just going to be no more when he's worked hard to have that games? It's ridiculous. Let's see. So yeah, the mindset and the attention is the key. It is. I totally agree with that. You have to have that mindset, and that's part of the problem. We've been so used to not having it. We've been so used to just saying, well, it is what it is. I've actually talked to a few people about all these ratchet rap women in these rap videos, and the most I got out of men, not even women, not even women combating me. You got men out there saying, well, at least they ain't killing each other. At least they ain't killing each other. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, bruh. What that so we're going to just reward mediocrity. We're just going to reward this stuff and just say, well, at least they're not killing each other. At what time and what part do we want to do better? And we can't do better when we have this scarcity mindset, or we're afraid to go places, or afraid to move against the grain because of what other people are going to say about us. Because what happens in the community when you walk outside the community, and then you're better. Then you think you're better. You think you're white. You think you better than somebody else because I wanted to do something, all because I wanted to invest in myself, and all because I wanted to take the leap into different direction and actually do something different. People need to get out. People need to actually go hang and go travel. And and I say travel loosely. I'm talking about like if you go to the next state over, you ain't got to go overseas. Go see other people. And when you see other people and see how they interact, you'll know you want different from yourself. But being stuck in the same bucket of crabs and having that crab in a barrel mentality, you won't get anywhere and you won't make any leaps. There was a picture that I seen with like I have on right now. It said make the leap, and it had a bunch of stick figures that were laying in the bottom of the trench, and they were all saying, you know, what are you doing? Why are you doing this leap? Why are you crazy? And it made me think, like, why are they saying this to this man? Because they're saying this man, they're calling this person crazy for going out of his way, for doing something different, for making that leap of faith, because they're all at the bottom of that trench, and they have all failed, and they have all decided to stay there and be comfortable instead of climbing out and jumping over the gap. You gotta not listen to some people. You know, when you're in that point of life where you want to make that leap and you want to do this thing, you want to, you know, I don't suggest anybody just go to school and get a degree for no reason. But if you have say you wanted to be a lead engineer and you wanted to go to school to be engineering, and you're 35, 40 years old, and you got people around you saying that you're crazy for going and spending that money. No, you have something in your mind. You have a goal to do, and you need to take that leap. All actuality, there is no time. There is no perfect time to take that leap. Now, there are preparations. There are preparations that you can take. Like, I never tell somebody to quit their job and just go off on a whim and decide to do something. No, there are preparations that you can take to start your journey. You know, there's research you might need to do. You know, there's other things that you might need to do before you start, but you need to start, and you need to make those small goals, those short-term goals, to be able to hold yourself accountable with. You know, like, if you like, in order, you know, it'll actually stop you from getting into that situation to where you're just watching like YouTube videos and you're reading book after book after book, and you're not really taking any action. That small time, that short-term goal will help you, will help keep you in line, will help keep you in bounds, and help you stay steadfast and focused on that goal, or on that end of the line thing that you want. So make sure you set goals. Just don't say I'm going to do something, because all of us do that. All of us have wonderful and awesome ideas in our head, and things that we have been blessed and given by God to do, but we don't want to, we don't succeed because, number one, we're listening to these people talking about manifesting all the time, and you all know, if you pay any attention, that faith without works is dead, and if you don't work, you're not going to get anywhere. So you need to have short-term goals to keep you working, to keep you moving forward, and to help you make that goal, or help you reach the end where you're making those leaps. You know, it's not, you don't want to be stuck in a position where you continuing to read and research and not making the jump. You know, get those things together. You know, get your reading material together, and say that maybe I'm gonna give myself 30 days to start from this step to next step. Make sure you're ready at the end of that 30 days, and make sure you have jumped from one stone to the next to get yourself where you want to go. It will happen. All of it will happen. You know, it's easy. Like I said, it's easy to stay conformed. You know, it's easy because it's in our nature. It's in human nature to take the path of least resistance. And when you get, and I'll say this to myself, I'm very much like that. I get to a point to where I get something good, to where I'm okay in my life, and I won't make any risk. I won't take any risk because I'm comfortable. Why would I take risks to do something better, and it might not work, when I can stay here in something I know that can work and not move forward? See, that's the part of our humanity that we have to battle when we want to go forward and do great things. Some people that comes too naturally. Some people that are just super and hyper focused and know exactly what they want to do all the time, and it seems like that. But if you actually sit down and talk to these people have doubts all the time. These people have, you know, ups and downs, depression, low points, high points, you know, and when they're doing good, they're doing well, they're at a high point. When they're doing bad, they're at a super low point, because often these people that are super aggressive in life and are super self-focused don't really have people in their corner to make sure they're all right, because when people look at them, they think, well, they're all right. Other people it takes more. Other people, it takes more preparation. Other people, it takes more motivation. That's why the motivation world is the way it is. That's why the motivation world is a multi-million dollar and could be multi-billion dollar operation, because some people need it. They just can't do it without having the extra push, like fitness trainers. I can get up and go run 3 miles without somebody telling me to, but some other person needs somebody behind them, yelling at them, coaching them from one end to the next end, because they're just not equipped with that kind of self motivation. And it's good. The first step in doing these things in life and making these moves and wanting to go to the next step is be real with yourself, take some introspection, and know that you might need a little extra coaching. You might need to take a little bit more time and be organized with what you're doing, because you're just not going to get up one morning and make yourself do something. It all can happen. You guys know you got to take the leap. There's no better time than today to decide that you're going to take the leap. Don't wait 3-4 weeks to decide, or a freaking year to decide that you want to do something different. Have you ever looked at yourself and thought about it, and really think about what's the difference between you and a Grant Cardone, or you and a Gary Vee, or you in a Tyler Perry, or you in a I'll say Mike Tyson, or Roy Jones, or whatever. What's the difference between you and them? Some of them might have an insane amount of athletic ability. Okay, that's the difference. After that, what is it? Because everybody's not the same height. Everybody's not the same size, or same weight, or same strength capacity. No, they're not. What makes a lot of these champions, what makes a lot of these winners who they are, is that they'll get up, they'll make the decision to take a leap or take that jump into something different, and they'll go head on. They'll go head on and smack that thing like a Mack truck, like a Freightliner, and keep going, and be in it, and lose themselves in it, and get obsessed with what they're doing in that point in their life, and do it, and they won't stop until they have what they want. That's the difference. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody has ups and downs. It just only takes that one mindset, that light bulb to go off, to know that you're going to have to put in 130% effort in doing whatever you want to do to make this goal. After you decide to take this jump. You have to. But today needs to be the day that you decide to make that jump, make that leap. Today is the day you want to decide that you want to make this new bakery. Today is the day that you decide that you want to be the manager of whatever company that you're in. Today is the day that you decide that you want to be a full-time YouTuber, or a full-time content creator, whatever it is, a musician, videography, whatever it is that you want to do in life. Make this be the day that you decide and you stick to you wanting to do this. And then the next thing you need to do is figure out a path, a roadmap, a long-term goal, and then you break that long-term goal into monthly short-term goals. Like, I'm not really going to tell what I'm doing, not till later. I'm going to actually film it, and I'm actually going to film the journey and what I'm doing. But the first thing I decided to do is start reading more, and get 3 books that are related to what I'm wanting to do. And those books will be the first thing I do after I pay my bills, when I get paid. Then it'll be setting out time. That's the first goal. Then my next goal will be setting out time for me to actually read this paraphernalia, and stick to that reading time. And then it'll be the next goal, and the next goal, and the next goal. And I decide I really implore everybody to do that. There's no reason. All the talent that I've seen in the last year and months that we have on this internet space, it's no reason that it shouldn't be more men and women doing what they want to do here, and especially the men, because I know you guys have a lot of talent. I know you guys are out there where we're not what the world is trying to make us out to be. I know you guys have money. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to. If I can spend $60,000-$70,000 on a car, why couldn't I spend $30,000 on a plot of land, and that land be mine for whenever I need it? You never know when you'll have hard times. You can go drive a RV or whatever you can on this land because it's yours, and live there. You know what I'm saying? We need to start doing those things, investing in and I know people are talking about investing in real estate, but you need to really invest in what is the name of it? You guys really need to invest in shoot, believe me, I've been talking too long. What do you say? Oh shoot, I got squirrel. Let's see what you say real fast. Yeah, things that appreciating assets. That's what I can't believe I forgot that. Appreciating assets, invest in appreciating assets. Not just cars, trucks, and clothes. We do that too. We do that too good already. You said that's true. We need to yearn to be great and not just be chill and be average. Yes, it's not. Yeah, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? We got on one hand, we got people in the space talking about it's okay to be average, and then you got other people, saying that it's the opposite. It's okay to be born being average. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be, because something, and when we talk about average, we're talking about, in most of the time in your stature and looks. You can't do anything about how tall you are. You can't do a thing about your natural beauty or attraction, but you can get up every day and decide to do something different. You don't have to be stuck making 30, 40, $50,000 the rest of your life if that's not what you want to do. But the world is, as people and as human beings, it's easy to get stuck, and the world won't help you get out of that because the world doesn't owe us understanding, and they don't owe us anything. And why would they when they want to keep the wealth and they want to keep the money and things to themselves? Yes, they do. We do need to invest in and we do need to invest in ourselves. That is another point. You have to invest in yourself when you make the decision to do something different. You say, okay, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and I'm going to take the leap into the next journey in my life. You gotta be comfortable with spending money on yourself outside of tangible things. Like I said before, outside of clothes, outside of shoes. Some things might not yield dividends until later on in life. Like the stuff I'm using in this studio. It didn't do anything for me. I couldn't wear it on my back. I couldn't put it on and show off to everybody because people aren't here seeing everything behind the camera. But it didn't make me feel good. I was happy that I got it, but it didn't make me feel good because I knew it wasn't going to have instant gratification. You guys got to invest in yourself. Take the time out to spend money on something that doesn't seem like it's gonna make you happy at that time, and know that it's going to have uh um it's not going to have you're not going to have that instant gratification. It's going to be delayed. You're going to have to be happy with it and be content. I won't say happy. You're going to have to be content with it being delayed gratification, but it will come with being diligent, with your mental on point, being prayed up. If you're Christian, being prayed up. If you're Muslim, being prayed up. Whatever religion you are, be in it, be prayed up, be down in it, and know that you're going to have some hard times and you're going to have some great times. But you can't stray from this actual path that you're going to have laid out for yourself, and know that you have people behind you. That's why I'm doing this now. I'm here. I'm here as much as I can be, and I'm here for people who are having, struggles. And know that we're human. We're the same thing. We're the same way. People on social media are going to tell you and going to make things look like they never had problems, like they're out there jet setting, like they're out there buying new Benzes, new Bentleys all the time, and they're just, everything in their life is good in the way they want it to be at that time. But they don't know, and they will never tell everybody out there that they're struggling when they go to sleep at night. That they can barely sleep at night, that they're miserable sometimes, that they can't have, because they don't know who's in their corner, and the people that they think in their corner, they have to keep one eye open on them because they're always worried about somebody taken from them. And that's a hard thing to do, but they'll never let you know that. And they always are put on because the world just wants to sell you everything and keep you as a consumer and not a winner and not the boss. It's okay with working. I'll never tell anybody that it's okay or not okay to work for a company, to work to work for somebody else other than yourself. All you need to. I'll tell everybody you need to work for somebody. Don't go out trying to be super boss out of nowhere, because you're not grounded. And a lot of the things that you learn working from somebody else, you wouldn't learn by yourself. you know, being humble, learning, you know, taking time to do things that you really didn't want to do in your corporate world, and taking them and actually implementing them for yourself when the time comes. So guys, I just want you guys to know that you need to take the leap. I want you guys to really understand that it's not going to happen until you make it happen. It's not going to happen until you make that decision to do that. It's not going to happen until you really buckle down and know that you're going to have to sacrifice, and it's going to be a little, it's not going to feel good. You know, when a crab, you know, one of those crabs outgrow their shell, they don't feel good. When a lizard outgrows his skin, he sheds. He doesn't feel good. You're not going to feel good when you make that leap. You're not going to feel good. Why? Because your destiny is going to look like it's not determined. It's going to look like you're out there in the wilderness with sharks, or not sharks around you, but wolves around you, and there's nothing to stop it. You know, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? How am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? What am I going to do? And what am I going to do, you know, next? Am I going to make it? Am I not going to make it? And those are the things that will deter you the fastest and make you want to run back to those areas that are comfortable. But I'm telling you, with diligence, with bravery, with keeping a circle of people, like-minded people around you. You know, the internet has, the internet hasn't done anything, it's given us the ability to keep in touch with each other. It's given us the ability to uplift one another without writing paper mail, without writing email, to look each other in the eye, even though it's digital on the screen, to be able to look each other, uplift each other, help each other, give each other pointers, you know, offer each other services that they couldn't get otherwise. The internet has brought so much of that stuff to us, but we often just, some of us have too much pride, but most of us don't even think about it. Be honest, most of us don't even think about it. Most of us don't even realize that we have all of these people, all of these blessings around us to keep our heads above water, to be the light at the end of the tunnel for us. And we just got to, sometimes we just got to reach out and grab each other's hand and uplift each other, because this is a new time. There hasn't been a time, you know, in my lifetime that we had so many brothers around each other that have had the ability to do that, have the ability to show a man, you know, the things that a man needed to do, or try to help him deter from making the same mistake he did when he didn't have a father at home to teach him that. You don't know how many people, how many guys out here didn't have their fathers there to teach them the things that a lot of us men are teaching each other. You know, outside of all this BS, I know the modern woman thing is the thing. I know the modern woman, you know, is the most popular thing out there on YouTube, and telling each other the real, telling each other to invest in ourselves, telling each other that we have each other backs, you know, telling each other that it's ways to get into different avenues if only you try, and only you take that risk. Is a good thing. And it might not be the most popular. It might not be the, you know, the thing that's going to get you and be the most lit here on the internet. But I'm telling you, it's going to change lives, and it's going to change your life if you just decide to make that leap. So thank you guys. I appreciate you being here. I know it wasn't a lot of people in here, probably somewhere talking about that McDonald's girl somewhere. And if you are, you know, more power to you. So I appreciate it. Make sure, let me get you, for I don't want to forget, nobody's in the chat. Yeah, do you have any thoughts? Yeah, we can do this real quick. Do you have any thoughts on the man that worked at BK for over 27 years? And I'm not knocking him, but I just want to say that if you have any other goals, please work the strike. I felt just like you, man. I felt just like you. I don't knock anybody for, you know, because they could be doing anything else. You know, they could be robbing people. They could be, you know how that goes, man. But it had to be more than there. He might have been, I don't want to make assumptions, but he could have been in the justice system. He could have had some kind of something on his record that wouldn't allow him to work too many other places. But even in that, you can get into the trades. You can still get into the trades. You can still get into being any of those trades, building, electrical, plumbing, any of that, and have way, if you're gonna have people giving you gift baskets after 27 years, I'll take my chances. Go to grade school, not trade school. I say grade school, but trade school, and then make myself and put myself into a better position. You know what I'm saying? But that's that comfortability. It's easy to go to Burger King because they'll give you a job, but it's hard to get up and know that going to trade school is going to put your work your mind. Really put you into a place of uncomfortability, but that will yield dividends. I'm telling you, people really don't know. People really don't understand the need for tradesmen. Like I've, when in my time and being a supplier quality specialist, going from different plant to different plant, all of those plants said the same thing, the same two things. No matter if I was in the quality area, auditing the quality area, they will tell me that if you know about CMM machines, the big machines that the coordinating measurements system. A coordinating measurement machine is pretty much you put a piece down and then you have to program it to measure a part up into so many, plus or minus so many microns to make sure that the part was up to specification. So those people don't have to even go to college, but they can write their own tickets because they don't have people to run these machines all around the country. They don't have people to run these machines all around the country, and no matter where I went, no matter who I talked to, I actually talked to a guy, Brian, man. I'm gonna shout out to Brian. I won't say your last name, man, but Brian, he's a contractor worker. He went from place to place, and he was like, man, making the big bucks because he knew how to run a CMM. Nobody wanted to take the time because it's not easy. Running a CMM is not easy. You need to know trigonometry. You need to know a little geometry, and you need to know math. You have to know this to be able to program, to use solid edge or whatever system that they use to hexagon or whatever system they use to measure these parts with. And a lot of people don't understand because a lot of people keep these things secret. A lot of people keep these things secret. They don't have a lot of people working the CMM machines. The other one is tool makers. Tool makers are being a lost art, but they still need tool makers because there's a lot of people and all the plants out here that don't have all these automated systems, and they need people to be able to be tool and die makers. But they're not telling people this. They're not telling you to go to technical school. They're not telling you to do these things, and you don't have to go to Harvard Business School to be able to make a great living, making 80, 90 grand a year being a tool maker. But they don't tell you that. But that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here for. Sometimes we need to take a break. I'm talking about the women because that, I'm sure the women gonna do something messed up or crazy. We got every other day to talk about that, and we need to really buckle down and know that there are places for us out here, and especially places that if we can uplift each other and bring each other with us, it's even better because everybody needs a hand once in a while. All the trades, framers, and that's another one before I get out of here. Framers, building frames for the inside of a home. These are needed. They can't even put up houses and subdivisions enough because they don't have the manpower. They don't have the framers to frame the houses. Now, would you rather work in Burger King or would you rather make 80 being a framer? You do the math. You do the math, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. We up on an hour, man. I appreciate y'all for being here with me today. Make sure you spread the word. Make sure you share the content. Make sure you tell everybody to come to the Thought and Talk podcast with Aaron EBM, because y'all know how we do it around here. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Have a great 4th of July. Be careful. Don't shoot each other. Don't hurt each other. We need to be back here next week. Until next time, everybody, I'll talk to y'all later. I'm out.
She poppin' and droppin', she rocket topics, no stopping. Got me deep in my pockets, I'm about to give her my wallet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, wow. She poppin' and droppin', she rocket topics, no stopping. Got me deep in my pockets, I'm about to give her my wallet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, wow. up like a jet ski. Work it out and ride it like a 10-speed. My little baby, baby takes the pain away. My little baby, baby takes the stress away. Never leave the bed when it's a rainy